2020 Ram 2500
Power Wagon.
I like that name.
I love the name. Makes me smile. It's a badass.
Badass truck?
You got it.
Don't call it a car. Don't do the same
I know.
shit that Steve
That's
does,
why I
okay?
stuttered it.
Truck.
Big,
Fat
Rhymes with fuck.
truck.
I should be able to remember
Like
that.
me, big and fat. So listen, okay, so 2500. What's the difference between this one and the non-Power Wagon 2500?
This one here has a lot more options to it that cater towards the off-roading aspect of it. So skid plates underneath, gas tank, transmission, oil pan. It also has the front and rear electronic locking differentials, and it has the front electronic disconnecting sway bar.
What's the little toe thing strap I see in the front?
Oh, that's the winch. Yeah, sorry, that's
thing?
one thing that's worth mentioning. This is the only car in its category from an off-road heavy-duty truck that I corrected and I said truck. It's the only truck in its category that comes factory with a 12,000-pound Warren Xeon winch. It comes built in to the bumper with control mounts in the front.
That's powerful enough to tow itself out of a ditch, right?
That's correct.
How much does this weigh? Like 6,000, 7,000 pounds?
It's up there, yeah. 66, 7,000 pounds sounds about right. The car. See, it's your fault. You keep putting the word car in my mouth. Better something else.
I'm not putting anything.
Knew that was coming. C-O-M.
Oh, no, you just made it worse.
But it's a badass truck. It's big. It's beefy. It's awesome. There's no doubt about it.
Okay. So you have a 2019 Ram Rebel 1500.
That's correct.
So what are the differences between, obviously the size, but between the 1500 and this one, right? Would this make sense as like your personal vehicle, like non-commercial, like not for work? Is it like too big or too much to handle on a daily basis?
The chest-pounding male inside of me wants to say, yes,
King
it's
Kong. Okay.
the car that I would want to drive. Truck that I would want to drive.
Until he's not able to park in the parking lot, then King Kong has to park outside
that's
and
the
walk,
problem.
right?
So if I was a contractor using this for work, would I buy it? I don't know. The payload or the tow capacity of this truck are reduced compared to the regular 2500 because of all the off-road accessories and goodies that it has. Would I want to use this on an everyday basis going from work site and back? Probably not. I'd probably buy a regular 2500 series.
Is there any competition to this? Like, does anybody else make anything similar?
Well, Ford just brought out, was it this year or last year, the Tremor.
It's called Tremor.
The Tremor. Ooh, scary. But, I don't know if you can call it competition. Sorry, Ford. You did a good effort. But, just because you put... we have to see it, but on paper, just because you put 35-inch tires on a heavy-duty truck and added the FX4 skid plates doesn't necessarily make it.
So this one has a default 33 tire, but this one, the specific one, has been upgraded to 35.
This particular one?
Yeah.
No, this one comes 33s and it's on 33s.
Oh, it's still on 33.
Yeah,
okay.
It's on 33s, 17-inch wheels.
Okay.
But the beauty of it is you can get those wheels in a bead lock, which again helps in the off-road.
So what's under the hood of this one? Because I know it has something not the same like in your 1500.
No. It's a 6.4 liter Hemi.
Ooh, even bigger.
So it's definitely bigger.
Bigger's better.
6.4 liter Hemi, proven engine. It is at 429 foot-pounds of torque as we hammer on it.
Wait, that's it? So that's like 20 more than your 1500.
Yeah.
How much horsepower in this?
410.
410? That's like 20 more than your 1500.
That's correct.
Is that enough to make it boogie though? Because I'm assuming this is heavier and bulkier.
Well, again, the man says yes. The practical dad that's going to put, a couple of car seats in the back and go to Costco says no. I don't see the big value in it.
So this still has the 8-speed torque flight transmission.
That's correct. They just did that.
It's a great
previously 6-speed. Amazing transmission. It is in sync. It does what it's supposed to every time. No hesitation.
It's basically a ZF, so it works well.
Yeah.
I also see 4-wheel drive lever down there.
Yes, we have a lever.
What does that do?
We have a lever. Thankfully. So that is actually a manual 4-wheel drive shifter. So you literally manually shift it into 4 high and manually shift it into 4 low. Something that is not offered in the 1500 series or other competitors, I can say. It's all electronic. So this has a 4:10 gear ratio. The crawl speed, I think, is a 4:1 on this one. But again, this is all off-road aspect items. It performs amazing. Like even the shifting on the fly.
Does that help with towing at all, or is it only for off-roading?
I would say it's mostly for off-roading. I mean, if you're towing a really heavy trailer and you're stuck somewhere, you want to get it started, you might be in 4-low. But then again, the process of actually shifting it out of 4-low back into rear-wheel drive or 4-high is not exactly a quick transition.
So this sits higher than a regular 2500, right? Because I feel really high up over here.
That's correct. It's got a 1-inch factory lift on it, above and beyond the, however high the factory 2500 is.
Okay.
Again, off-road, off-road, off-road.
Now tell me something. That 6.4, is it much thirstier than the 5.7?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Oh, yeah.
So I see the average right now is 20.6, but does that include, like, how's the balance between the highway? So 20.6 liters per 100 kilometers, not miles per gallon?
Yep. So the 20.6 is a combination of highway and city. Actually, mostly highway.
What's the breakdown? Mostly highway?
Mostly highway. I'd say 70% highway, 30% city. Compared to the 1500 with the 5.7, the 1500 averages somewhere in the 16 range. So there's a
penalty right there. But is it because of the motor, or is it because of the extra weight? And obviously this is less aerodynamic because it's like a bigger...
It's a barn door through the wind is what it is. But yeah, it's definitely both a combination of the weight and the engine size. There's no doubt there.
But because it's bigger, it gets the cool yellow lights on the top of the roof.
That's correct. Because of the height and the width, you have to go with the amber lights up top to
regulations make it seem meaner.
Got it. One thing that we got to touch on though, for the fuel efficiency, is that because it's the Power Wagon trim, it's running on 4:10 gear ratio in the back, which makes a substantial difference on the fuel efficiency.
Cool.
The 1500 runs a much different gear ratio, more geared towards highway and cruising. So that'll
good info right there.
Take effect.
The one thing that I'm not particularly fond of is the ride comfort.
That's correct. Yep.
It is a little bit bumpy. I saw the nice yellow Bilsteins underneath, but it seems like these axles are really heavy going up and down, and there is some bouncing happening inside the cabin, which is where you don't want it to happen.
You got
it keeps reminding me that I'm fat because I feel my titties jiggling, and I hate it.
I like it.
I don't.
But yeah, the ride comfort is it's definitely reduced over the 1500.
Okay.
I think that the main driving factor for that
is the seat.
Well, the seats don't hold me. It's not. I don't know. It's just sliding. Leather's nice, but it's too slippery. The 1500 has IFS in the front, so it's not on a solid independent front suspension. So it's not
for that now.
Of course, LOL. Yeah.
Okay, another thing. So it has solid axles, front and rear.
That's correct.
Is that why on the highway you're like this all the time?
Constantly adjusting? Yeah. Yep. It's a lot harder to keep a car straight with solid axles than it is with IFS.
Why would somebody pick this over the 1500? So yes, off-road ability. So this is like having a Gladiator Rubicon or a Mojave into a bigger truck, because you get the disconnecting anti-roll bars and locking differentials and everything.
Yep.
But again, you lose a lot of the practicality you get with a smaller chassis, like a shorter wheelbase.
That's correct.
This is how much?
$62,295 is the base price of the
Why am
car.
I asking you? The spec sheet is right here. So this starts at $65,295, and this one, as tested, is $81,000. That's a lot of money.
It is a lot of money. Would I spend the money on this? Yeah, I would.
You would?
I would. If I wanted to build the most badass expedition vehicle possible, and my version of a vacation is just heading north into all the backcountry and living off the grid in your truck, camping, exploring, whatever you might do.
So what you're telling me now is basically, if this coronavirus situation turns into a zombie apocalypse, this is the vehicle you want to be in.
This is the vehicle. There's no questions, no arguments. This is the car. It will go through anything and over anything.
I see there's something interesting here. So you can lift this up and make it a passenger seat. However, where do the legs go?
On the shifter.
That makes a really kinky passenger.
Weird passenger too. Kind of like the one that would drive a Range Rover.
Yeah, true.
But yeah, this one here does have the 6-seater capacity. It's a bench. It is available with the 2 front bucket seats, especially now with the 2021 version, with the 75th anniversary edition.
That's a pretty cool edition to buy, right?
Oh, that's great. I don't think that I would buy a Power Wagon without the 75th anniversary package. The badging, the styling, the seats, everything about it looks just awesome.
So in terms of handling, how does this feel on the road? Like corners and whatever? I mean, obviously it's a big truck, but is it hard to drive?
It's harder to drive than the 1500. It's more wobbly. Steering input is definitely more vague. It's not as direct as what you would get out of the 1500, for example. Bumpier, as we've already talked about. It's I love road trips. I love road trips. It's just my thing. I love packing up the truck and going. I feel more tired coming out of this 2500 Power Wagon than I do coming out of my 1500. From a towing perspective, it's fantastic. Again, the towing capacity on this trim level is reduced versus the regular 2500.
So when you're driving down the road and somebody sees this Power Wagon, what does it look like? What is somebody's thoughts when they lay eyes on a Power Wagon? Is it like a ooh kind of thing, or is it like a kind of thing?
Well, I think only someone that knows about trucks would stop and look at it and say, wow, that's Power Wagon.
And everybody that doesn't know is like,
look at that guy in a pickup truck, redneck Cadillac. But yeah, the Power Wagon definitely has standout features. The wheels, the tires, the badging. There's no shortage of
I like
logos.
the upright sticker in the back.
Yeah, that's cool. That's a nice
Wagon.
touch. That's a nice touch.
Yeah.
Hood decals, the full 9.
And at this point, we need to tell you that the Power Wagon does not fit through a regular car wash. That's why ours is dirty, because it's freezing outside and we cannot wash it anywhere else other than a car wash. So, sorry. How about the dashboard? Because I see a lot of, it looks very much like a 1500. So it has obviously the big screen that we all like. The screen is very usable. We've covered functionality many times, so no need to,
go into that
explain
right
in detail how that works. It looks good looking.
Yeah.
We still have the rotary shifter.
Yep.
So we don't have like the shifter from the TRX, but we couldn't because there's a seat here. So where would that shifter go? It would be really uncomfortable for the third passenger up front here. Material wise, I think this is not as good as a 1500. Like there's places where it's cheaper, but then again, I'm assuming that the utility in here had to take over and some sacrifices had to be made.
Yeah.
So if you look at it by itself, it's pretty good. Soft to the touch top, whatever. But then if you put it side by side with your Rebel, then the Rebel is obviously nicer. Right?
Yeah, the Rebel, I'd say, has a nicer interior. But just to put a bracket on that, the 75th anniversary edition of this one
is equivalent to your Rebel?
Is equivalent to the Rebel.
Okay.
You have selection of color options, different leather materials, fabric materials. That interior is spot on.
Nothing below the seats for storage?
Nope, just French fries.
So lots of USB ports. You can connect everything here.
Yep.
I get it. Lots of plugs, front and back. I saw inside the bed you also have power and you have hooks for your stuff. So the bed is, how long? How many feet?
Should be a 6-foot bed.
So the bed on this one has the tonneau cover.
Yeah.
And it also has the, what's it called, the divider? What's it called? That thing?
The bed divider.
Bed divider, okay. So you can basically set that further back so you can put like groceries without them flying all the way to the back of the bed when you
exactly what it's for, yeah.
step on the brakes. I don't like the fact that it has a small sunroof though. Like, is it an option to get the panoramic
Yeah,
one?
it's an option. You can get the panoramic sunroof. I believe that's a $1,495 option if you were to add it.
It jacks up the price even more.
Everything jacks up the price. But the panoramic is something that I would definitely want.
Tell me about the mirrors.
I hate them.
You hate the mirrors?
Can't stand them. That was a quick answer. Don't like them.
But they do flip outwards to make them longer when you're towing?
They do rotate upwards if you wanted to extend the mirrors for towing, as you said.
Okay.
But the way that the split is, and I mean, I understand why it's like that. I just, personal preference, don't like the way that when I do a quick glimpse left and right to check blind spots and check the mirrors, it messes me up. I don't like it.
At least they're heated and they have blind spot monitors. So
Yep, you got it. Heated blind spot monitors, power folding as well, which is nice, especially with the width of this truck, hence the lights that are up top. The width is quite big, so anywhere you were to go.
Front lights are LED and they're really good at night. Like
amazing.
They turn night into day. Now the back seat has a lot of room. Good leg room, excellent headroom.
Absolutely.
Seats are comfortable. You can even lift the bottoms up and then create like a flat loading bay for like your tools or whatever you want to put that needs to stay flat. That's pretty convenient. It's wide enough for 3 adults, so good roominess back there. But this is the crew cab configuration of the 2500. So that's why you got a lot of room back there.
Yep.
So to sum this up, who is this for and who is it not for?
I would say that this truck would be the perfect truck for somebody who needs to have the versatility and space of loading up the truck with material, or the hobbyist, or the cottage goer, or anything of that sort. The person that's towing their boat, but also enjoys a lot of off-roading. And when I say off-roading, I don't necessarily mean the big rock crawling like the Jeep would get into, but let's call it the overlanding. If you wanted a truck that's super comfortable for a long off-road trip in the backcountry,
you get a Ram Rebel 1500.
No, you get this.
It's not comfortable.
It can be comfortable, but this is the truck that personally I would buy if I were building up a crazy off-grid overland. The Ram Rebel is something that I would buy, which is what I have it, for the weekender, the person that's going to go maybe some slight trails or soft trails. So I'd say this is, if you spend more of your time in the wilderness, off the grid, off the road, and you need an incredibly capable vehicle that can haul ass, this is the one to get.
So compared to the 1500, the big difference is the front solid axle, the disconnecting anti-roll bars, and sway bars. What's the difference? Is it the same thing?
Sounds bad.
And the locking differentials, front and rear.
That's good.
But no center, right? No locking center differential?
No locking center.
Cool. And compared to the regular 2500, it's again the off-road bits, like skid plates. So this is like, let's say, the Rebel of the 2500s, right? So the off-road edition.
Yeah.
If it was a Ford, would call it an FX4.
That's correct. Yeah.
Okay.
Or won't go there. Yeah.
or a Z71 if it was a Chevy.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Trail boss with a lisp.
Okay, so overall score for the 2500 Power Wagon out of 10. And again, considering all the I likes and I don't likes and all that stuff, out of 10. And don't be like Doug Demore, don't say 5, okay? Give us like a
No. The
nice
number that is coming to my mind is 7.
Okay. So it's paying the price for what? What lowers the score? Let's focus on
what lowers the score for me, the ride being a lot rougher. That, a couple of small features that are important that are missing, like the telescopic steering wheel. Simple, I know.
Makes the driving position
but it makes the driving position.
You do have adjustable pedals, but that doesn't really help.
Not really. For me anyways.
Yeah.
And the other item is the mileage.
That comes with truck territory, though,
It
right?
comes with truck territory for sure, but I almost feel like if they were building a purpose-built off-road vehicle like this one, which obviously they have, given the fact that we're sacrificing payload, we're sacrificing tow capability, you could get away with a smaller engine like the 5.7, or you could even toss in a diesel. There's no variant of diesel on this one because they're saying that the diesel engine is too big to fit the winch in it, and it makes it too heavy. I would love to see this truck with the equipment that it has on the body of a 1500.
Okay.
With an EcoBoost.
Do like a little
diesel.
Franken truck and put like
a
solid axle in front of a 1500.
You got it. Because one of the other issues that this truck might face while using it for off-road is the sheer size of it. You know how hard it is to get
You
around
get stuck in a ramp. You're just too long.
that, but also maneuvering around trees or going around obstacles and whatnot. I mean, the length is just
I don't think
crazy.
this is meant for small technical trails. This is more like open fields and stuff that you don't have like the size containment, right? Just,
desert.
You got space.
You got it. So overall, love the truck. Would I buy it? Yes, if I'm retired and I'm moving up north and nowhere near civilization. So long as I got kids, I need something a little bit smoother on the road.
I just like the name Power Wagon.
Oh, get a sticker.
Just sounds really cool. All right, folks. So that's it for today. It's all for the Power Wagon. So till next time, be well.
Thanks for joining us. I love it. Fucking love it.
You love it now?
I love it.
You changed your mind?
Change my mind. I fucking love it.
Why?
I got used to the truck. It is, for the size of it, it's ridiculously nimble. I was kind of scared to take turns with it in the beginning, only because of the fact that I just didn't trust it. Didn't know it. But now, I freaking passed the highway. I went 10 minutes out of my way because I was so damn comfy. Just chilling, cruising.
So you've had this for 1 week, then you changed your mind on one drive specifically.
Yeah, one drive specifically, yeah.
All right, let's see if this fill-up now is going to change your mind the other way again.
Trust me, that already has. The scene on the dash.
So do we have a new verdict? Okay, so we have a new verdict?
Number?
I don't know, but do we have a new verdict?
We have a new verdict. After driving it, it was just this one trip. In the beginning, I was a little nervous with the truck. It was bigger than what I'm used to. You know, I got used to the Ram Rebel after coming out of a Rubicon with the bumpy suspension and all that. And then I went to the Ram Rebel again with a smooth ride, comfortable ride. But this drive down, I just lounged. I put it in the active cruise control. I didn't even touch the brakes, and the gas was amazing. Drove all the way down, super comfortable. I finally figured out that sweet spot and how to overcome the lack of telescopic steering. I figured, what the hell, let me give it a couple of tries. I took a couple of on-ramps a little faster than I should have, my bad. But super smooth. The swaying of the vehicle is very, very minimal on turns, from what my idea was when we first got into the truck. You have to learn how to overcome the bumps of the road because of the axles again and the suspension setup. But if I were to look past the ridiculously horrible fuel consumption that we're about to find out right now, yeah, I would buy it if I never had to go downtown or park in any sort of tight spots. Downtown, undergrounds, overhead parking, forget it.
Cut to the chase. You gave it 8.5, I think, during the review, right?
I gave it a 7 during the review.
Oh, a 7?
Yeah, I think I bumped it up to actually an 8.5.
Okay.
Yeah. There's still a couple of things that bug me about it, but I think I bumped it up to an 8.5.
So on that bombshell, new verdict.